All right, everybody. Hello. How are you guys doing out there? You can tell we're trying something new today. We're trying something new. A number of you are on various platforms. This is the first time that we are trying this Q&A, not on one, not on two, but on three platforms simultaneously. So, it's a bit it's a bit nerve-wracking right now, to be honest, because I know some of you are watching on Facebook. I know some of you are on Periscope, and I know some of you are on YouTube. And if you only understood just how much it takes to try to make that happen, you would probably have a greater appreciation for what's going on right now. It's pretty nerdy, but pretty awesome all at the same time. For those of you who have not been here before, welcome. My name is Jay, CEO of CASHFLOW Diary. What I do with our members every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, or 4 p.m.-ish, as it is the case today, is they bring their questions. Some of them they've already submitted to me, and you'll see those. But as it currently stands, I can see the chat. So whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, I can see your chat. So by all means, understand that I am paying attention to 3 chat rooms. But so that means I need a little bit of patience for you. But at the end of the day, I'm here to answer your questions. Now, some of you have, especially those of you on Periscope, you've already started sharing because you know what's going down. If you want to join us on Periscope, then that's probably a good idea, because I'm going to tell you what's going down there. You can catch us at cashflowdiary.tv, but many of them on Periscope already know that we've been doing what I call the Share the Wealth giveaway. And basically what's going down is we are giving away an iPad. To enter, all you have to do is share the broadcast on Periscope when I'm live, i.e. right now. And that gives you 1 entry. Share multiple times, you get multiple entries. And then towards the end, on February 28th, the entries stop. We'll hold the drawing. And whosever name is chosen gets this particular iPad, 9.7-inch space gray. It's an iPad Pro to be specific. So no, I'm not getting you an iPad or an Apple Pencil. That's all on you. But it will be your iPad should you choose to share and enter. So I've got, like I said, 3 chat rooms paying attention to. I've got my screens. I've got all of my teaching tools set up. So if you guys, I'm ready for you, meaning I can show you calculators. We can run numbers. We can answer questions. I am doing my best to be here for you guys as much as I possibly can, so that we can indeed get, your questions answered, and all of them, as the case would be in this particular case. Oh, just lost my Periscope comments. Hold on. They all disappeared. So if you are on Periscope, do me a favor. There we go. They're back now. If you type something, I missed it. Sorry. Just kind of happened that way. But nonetheless, I like the hearts. I see those are coming. And for those of you on Facebook, I'm watching what you guys are doing as well. Jason is new to us here. Welcome, Jason. I know you're one of our new members. How this works, Jason, is that every Tuesday, so you're in the Facebook group, Jason, and every Tuesday what happens is that I come live like you see me right now. And, I do my best to come live no matter where I am. I come live, and then because you're a member, you can ask your questions on days other than Tuesdays, right? But what it comes down to is I come to here to answer any questions that I may have missed, or my team may have missed, or that we just haven't gotten to, or sometimes questions, because Sep can occasionally ask really complicated questions, and instead of writing them out, I just answer them right here. So for those of you wondering, what I'm referring to when I say the Facebook group, all of our members have access to this particular Facebook group right here, where they get to ask questions about their deals, etc. And we talk about ideas, etc. And Jason is one of our newest members. So, and here's one member. What was it? I think that was Larry. Yep, Larry recently was able to get $150,000 of investment capital. And again, that's one of the many things we teach, but he decided to post the check, so that's pretty cool when those types of things happen, of course. So with that being said, let's get into some of the questions that I know that you guys have. We'll definitely start with the pre-written questions. And for those of you, again, joining for the first time, do me a favor. Just start typing your questions now, because I can see right now we don't have that many sent in ahead of time. So what that means is I'll get through these pre-written questions, and then we'll be able to answer your questions, and obviously we'll be prioritizing members' questions because you guys are over in the Facebook group. It's really easy for me to do that, and I just want to make sure that they know they're getting taken care of as well. But we definitely want to get all of these questions answered as quickly as humanly possible. And for those of you who may not know, we have a podcast in iTunes, new episodes every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. All right, so the first question for this session goes to Jason. Jason says, "Oh, the new member. Excellent. Jason, congratulations. Glad you're here. Currently researching a duplex upper and lower in a Class C neighborhood. List price is $92,500. Okay. Current M. I don't know what M over MY is. That monthly? Is that what that's supposed to be? Why not just write out monthly rents? I think that's what that's supposed to be. Current monthly rents are $500 upper, $600 lower, so that's $1,100 total. Okay, that makes sense. Both units are 2-1 over 1,000 square feet. That sounds large. Rentometer. Okay, you're watching the courses. This is good stuff. Jason states that the average rent is $700. Okay, needs gutters and siding. Okay, also has 2 old furnaces that should be replaced shortly and need some work on the driveway. Sidewalk. Okay, also needs some work on a portion of the roof. Current tax assessment is 101.3. Houses on the same block and size run from I believe you mean 100K to 145. I think that's what you're trying to tell me. Looking for a long-term hold, but could be a flip. Trying to figure out if this is a money pit or not. New to the game. Got it. Okay. So this is going to require a number of things. So Jason, first of all, welcome, and don't take anything I'm saying personally. Just understand my job is to help you get better faster. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to help you get better faster. All right. So I can tell that it seems as though to me that you've been paying attention to some of the course material, which is great. And I totally appreciate that. So please don't stop doing that. However, there's a couple of things that I want to bring that will hopefully clarify what's really going down. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to clarify some of the things that you're saying and that you're bringing up. All right. So first of all, when it comes to value is in the eye of the beholder. All right. So why am I starting there and saying that? Because this is really important, something that you must grasp. So, oops, I should make that a little bit bigger. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you so it's easier for you to see when I'm writing. How about that? Make that a little bit bigger. All right. So here we go. Hopefully your notepad's out. I said value is in the eye of the beholder. In the eye of the beholder. This will make sense in a second, so just stick with me, all right? And everyone else, you guys stick with me too. And I know some of you know this, but Jason's new. All right. So Jason, let's pretend that because every house, I've said this before and I'll say it again, every house, every asset has 3 values. It has a speculative value. We don't have time to go into that. But we have speculative value, we have investment value, and then we have use value. Speculative, investment, and use value. And depending on how you're going to go out there and actually use this particular property, it's worth something different to each person. Same thing is true when you have the tax assessor, the lender, the seller, and you, the buyer, in this particular case. Everybody's got a different opinion of what that particular property is worth. So 1, remember the very basic lesson. Get your own opinion of value, then confirm what you expect. Don't let other people's numbers sway you. I don't know that you should be paying $100,000 or $145,000. I don't know what you should be paying because I don't understand your exit strategy. Yes. Could it be a flip? It certainly could be. Do you want it to be a flip? That's the question you need to answer. Could it be a hold? It could be a hold. Do you want it to be a hold? That's the decision you must make. You must answer the number one question that I said in Deals at Discounts was decide whom you want to serve. Until you know whom you want to serve, it is useless looking at numbers. It is useless trying to figure out, is this a deal? Is it good? Is it bad? Because you don't have a compared to what, and you don't have a business model that you're actually trying to execute. You can't ask me, well, which one makes money? Both of them make money. The question is will it do what you were trying to do? And that's all about your investor identity. So go back, look at modules 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 inside that course, and that should give you more insight as to what I am saying. Because long before we get to the numbers, we have the investor identity, marketplace identity, team identity, and then we care about the deal. IMTD. Remember that. I know you're new here, but trust me, everyone in the Facebook group's going probably nodding their head and saying, yeah, I remember when Jay told me that too. So yeah, and you won't know until you know. Now, as far as figuring out this is a money pit, I have no idea, but I tell you what gives me concern. I don't like, personally, furnaces. I've been trying to get rid of every house that I've ever owned where the heating was that way, right? So that means in places where it snows, I just don't want to do business. Central heat, central air, those things make me happier, okay? I don't like the old, I'm assuming, what I'm making an assumption when you say furnace, by the way. I just don't like that stuff, don't want to deal with it. So whether it's a money pit or not is irrelevant. The point is that furnace is going to need attention. You have also identified the roof. Okay, it needs some work, but until you know how much that work is, who knows? And you don't know the useful life of the rest of the roof, right? But what you have told me is that you need to build what is called a sinking fund for both of those things, the furnace and the roof, and just assume that you're going to replace them, right? So when you begin to take all of those things into consideration, you'll know. However, here's what I'm really going to tell you. None of that matters for you to write an offer. You just need to go write an offer. Remember, an offer is an invitation for a conversation. So, Jason, hopefully that helps. Now, guys, those of you watching Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, it's Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, which feels like Twitter, right? Make sure you're putting your comments there. I'm not looking at them yet. I'm going to go to them, but if your questions are there, they're going to get answered. I just want to make sure that I take care of our members first, all right? Especially those of you on Facebook, because we got a lot of people watching from a lot of different places today, right? So just keep that in mind. So let's go to the next question and see who we've got here. Whoops, that didn't come up. Sep. Awesome. I'm willing to bet this is going to be complicated because Sep has been one of our more first students, very advanced. This is going to be great. Here we go. It says, hello, Jay and fellow cashflow creators. My most recent tax return invoice from my CPA was I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your pain. Was enormous. He said that going forward, it's going to be much more time consuming to prepare my tax returns. That is true. That's what you get for learning all the stuff I've taught you. Yay! Does it make sense to have him continue preparing taxes for each property and property parcel separately, or to combine them and file taxes for the LLCs only? My CPA said the latter option would be more complicated if I ever do a 1031. Has anyone else run into this problem? Suggestions. Got it. Has anyone else ever run into this problem? That's also code for Jay. What do I do? Right? You know I've ran into this issue, dude. I live this issue every day. Here's the simplest solution that I would share with you, Sep. Simplest solution is group like parties together. So as far as each property parcel, if each property parcel is owned by your syndication, the same investors, then group those together. That's probably the better way to go. Okay. Yes. Could it be a little bit difficult if as a group you decide to 1031 one of the properties that the syndication owns, but keep some others? Yeah, but that's for a time when it's time. And if it's time, you'll have to do a cost benefit analysis to find out if it's worth it. And likely the extra accounting at that time will be significantly less than the cost of taxes that you would have paid, which is why you were doing a 1031 in the first place. So for now, and again, this is definitely what I do. Like investors, same tax return. So all the assets that they own together, one tax return. All the other the other tax return. That's the quickest, fastest, and it's not inexpensive anymore. It's no more 1040. You're well beyond, my cousin Vinny who does my taxes. You're not there anymore, man. That's what you get for raising all that money and doing all those deals. Congratulations. No one is crying for you because you have to now have a really large tax bill, just so you know. Nobody's like shedding any tears or going, oh man, in fact, they probably wish they were you. But then again, they'd have to do what you've done. So good stuff. All right. So I see those. Let me go check. So I'm beginning to check the comments and questions boxes. So make sure if you want your comment to be heard or seen that you put it there. Hello, YouTube. I see you guys watching as well. Let me see. Let me make them the right size so that I can see these things. Awesome. I see Periscope is live with lots of comments. Got it. Susan. Okay, phone, it won't connect to live video. Sorry, we'll have to catch the replay later. Oh, got it. Going to a mixer. I got it. Carol is here. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Jason, howdy. Jason, I've explained how this works. Hey, Sep. Dave is here. I see you. Hey, Rashima. Susan, still having problems logging in. Jason, just tap. If you're having trouble logging in, just tag Jacob inside and he'll fix your account, or Della, either one. They'll fix it. Jason, if you're logged in, click the play button. Okay, it doesn't show a play button. Just click the still image, video, refresh your browser. Good problem to have, right? Yes, Sep. Yes, no one is complaining. No one is going, man, I wish. No, like literally nobody is sad for you. Just so you know, no one's like caring. Like really, that's your question. Like that's your question, Sep. Just so you know. Just so you know. So that's good. Hey, Brandon, I see you as well. Okay, so I don't see any more questions on Facebook where the members are, so I'm coming over to Periscope because you guys seem to have a ton, which is fine. And then I don't see anything on YouTube yet, but that's all right. It looks like Periscope's going to more than make up for it. All right, so Court Haley, what's up? Hey, Jay, just finished massive. Oh, my gosh, you already finished? Wow. Okay, well, cool. So Haley is one of our newer members as well. Haley, make sure that you're in the Facebook group. I don't know if I remember seeing your name. Just send a message over to Della and she'll verify your account and whatnot. Anyway, I just finished. Haley just took advantage of one of our courses over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken, where we're beginning to produce information around short-term rentals. It's something that I got really excited about back in June, July of last year. And now that we've gone from 0 of them to 19 of them and have intentions on obviously continuing that forward, and we've coached a number of people through their first couple of ones, we're now going to start opening this up to help a whole bunch of other people do the exact same thing. And if you want to know more about that, you can go to cashflowdiary.com/coming soon, which is what Haley is referring to. So but it's good. It's good to see you here already. So let's see. David Garcia, how do you win this iPad? You win the iPad, again, by following the directions right here on the screen. Is you share when on Periscope. You just simply share. We track shares. We also track hearts. Hint, hint. But we track shares in your activity. So we know how many times you share, if you shared on Facebook, Twitter, or invited followers on Periscope. And each share gets you an entry. No limits to the number of entries. And many will enter, one will win. That's pretty much how it goes. And the iPad is right here. It's a 128 gigabyte, 9.7 inch iPad Pro. Berg Rent. Can you show an example for marketing to landlords to get leases for short-term rentals? I don't know what you mean exactly by an example of marketing to landlords to get leases for short-term rentals. Like, I don't know if you think this is not necessarily a Facebook ad thing. But that's definitely, we went through that in what we call the blueprint, which is what Haley was able to acquire earlier. But we're going to be going deep into that. And if you want more training on that, again, let me go back to put your name at cashflowdiary.com/coming soon, because we will definitely be there. Rashima, Deidre, how are you doing? I'm a CASHFLOW member, but viewing via Periscope. There you go. Trying to get the iPad. I get it. Air handler is an alternative. I don't know what that means, Danielle. What is air handler is an alternative? What about gas versus like electric appliances? What's your preference? Hating the electric stove. Got it. While I am cooking and kitchen illiterate, I know that my wife prefers gas appliances. I don't like electric appliances because they cost more money. Period. So I prefer gas for a different reason than my wife prefers gas. Simple as that. So hopefully that answers your question. The Savvy Consultant, would you recommend a first-time investor to get a hard money loan for purchase? No, I would not. I mean, that's the short answer, is no, I would not. As you stick around and get to know me more, you'll learn that I don't like hard money in the traditional sense in and of itself. I've used it, don't like it when I have to because it's hard. And I would rather you learn how to go and raise your own capital. That's what I would rather you learn. Don't have Facebook. We'll have to get on board. Yes, Haley, you got to get on the Facebook group for sure because we do a lot of communication to our members there. All right. Michelle is here. Excellent. AC. Oh, air got it. An alternative to when you said air handler, I was like, what are you talking about? Now I understand. You're talking about something completely different. What feels like a long time ago. Again, I prefer central air. Or I'll take a PTAC unit occasionally. And if you don't know what that is, if you look inside, if you've ever been in a hotel and you've seen that unit on the floor above the door, that's both a heater and an AC and it's sticking out, that type of thing, I'll take one of those. Or just your window AC is fine with maybe even forced air. Like in our LA units, it's forced heat with the window AC. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I just don't want those freaking boilers and furnaces and swamp coolers and all that other stuff that breaks, that's old, that only the 80-year-old guy knows how to fix and charges you $400 an hour for. That's really like where my hatred comes from. It has nothing to do with that other than that. And you're like, but it's rustic, it's quaint. I don't care. It costs more money than I want it to cost, so I don't want them. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's really what it comes down to for me in this particular case. Danielle, Felicia is laughing at me. Not really sure why, but hopefully it was funny. All right, so let me see. Did I get everybody? I'm going back to YouTube looking for your questions. You guys, you can, let me type something for you right here. Type here and type here to ask a question because you may not know where to type. I just realized that. So that way the YouTube people can ask questions. Periscope, Your Gear. And then we've got Facebook no more. It says Yukon Don from Periscope is saying, what areas are you primarily renting in? I don't understand the question, Don. What do you mean primarily renting in? Tell me what you want to know. Like, are you trying to figure out where you should do something? Like where you should buy real? I don't understand. Tell me what you want to know. Because again, the reason I say that is because, a very long story short, what I'm doing is probably not best for most of you, depending on what strategy we're talking about. Because right now I don't know. But that doesn't mean it's not. It just means it's probably it may not be. So someone is killing those hearts over there. I love it. Let me see Facebook. Who else is here? Felicia is asking how much green you guys, just so you guys can see some of these questions too, it's pretty funny, like when you guys ask me stuff like how much green does one need to start building with the strategy you teach. Felicia, hang around me enough and you'll learn. Okay, in fact, let me put this back on your screen right there. Look at that last couple of lines, or that very last line. It says it started with a FICO of 398, right? Well, that means I had no credit, right? We also had no money. We were squatting a bank-owned property, and that's what was happening at the time. Now, here's the deal. I'm not saying you should go do that, but what happened is that it taught me how to transact real estate using none of my own money or credit. Therefore, that's what I teach. I teach what I do and what I know is how to do business, real estate, etc., using none of your own money or credit, how to raise your own capital, how to do those things. But primarily, what I want to share with you, Felicia, is to get out of the mindset of I have to have all of the resources and understand that we together can become wealthy, where it's I cannot. So just understand that. It's about we. It's a we mindset versus an I mindset. So just understand that because that I think will help you tremendously as you move forward. So many of our students, like Sep, the one who has all the tax problems right now, he's raised millions of dollars using the information that we've shared, which is why he has now he's complaining about his his CPA bill. Oh, wow. If only. That's called a first world problem, by the way, in case you didn't know. So just keep that in mind. Yes, I would like to know where I should look to invest. Got it. Yukon Don. I get where you're going with that. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning of this. So either watch the replay or something. Where you should invest is someplace completely different than someone else. And here's what I mean by that. No one can tell you should invest here because no one knows if you are good. In fact, you don't know yet, at least by the question, I can assume you don't know. You don't know what type of investor you are, let alone if you're going to be good at that, because it's not about where you put your money. It's can you serve the person that you were trying to serve? Whom do you want to serve? For example, let's say for a moment, Don, that you are really good in a machine shop environment. I'm not saying you are. I don't know you from Adam. I'm just trying to give you an example. But that's industrial real estate. That's probably where you should begin because you understand that customer. You know what that customer needs. Let's pretend you do retail stores, like you have a franchise, you've had franchises in the past. Well, you probably could start with small little strip malls because you understand that customer better. So where that is, it has more to do with you and your history, what's going to be quote unquote best for you versus best for other people. I grew up in apartment buildings, in C-class neighborhoods. Also, therefore, I understand that customer and their needs. And it's one of the areas that we did and do is because I understand that customer. So there's no magic silver spoon, unfortunately. You're going to have to do the work. We actually teach that work in our market analysis course so that you can figure out where for you that is. Because most people, especially real estate, and it gets under my skin, it's about serving the person, not the building. The building's important, the land's important, but if you don't know how to serve that customer, I don't care if you paid $1 for it, you're still going to lose money because you don't know how to serve the customer, period. So hopefully that makes sense, and it is what it is. You got the hearts for me. Thanks, Alden. I see you over there. Oh, there's someone from YouTube. Hello, it's Angel. How are you? I see you. Roberto Di Costa. Not sure how to become a member on Facebook. Is it automatic? I've been going through your courses. Roberto, if you should go next time you log in, Roberto, what you do is in the lower right corner, there's a little question mark. That's our help and customer service. Click that. Send a message to Della. She'll get you all straightened out and tell you what you need to do. So hopefully that will help. And thanks for being there over on YouTube. Let me see. Yes, I would like to invest. Felicia, you were laughing at me again. And again, I don't know why. It's like Adolfo. How did you locate your financial partners for short-term rentals? Again, you don't, it's not like going to the store to find the best deal on bread. All right. Well, I have no other way of saying it. There is no shortcut way out, and you don't like the answer because you want the quick fix. You want to be able to go talk to someone today, get some stranger you don't know today to get money tomorrow. And there isn't that answer. So quote unquote, locating financial partners for anything is about building a relationship. And that's why in our course, we teach you how to do that so that you have the ability to go out there and make that happen. That's a great strategy. Thank you. What strategy are you referring to? Thank you. I needed that reminder. Been so hesitant. The program is good. Excellent, Felicia. I'm glad that I'm here to remind you until you actually get it done. We've been doing this Q&A thing for years, and I do mean years. Long before Periscope, long before Facebook Live, long before all of these things are members like Sep. That's why he's made the progress he has, because he brings all those questions to bear. So yes, good problems to have. He says, got it, makes sense. Awesome. Let me checking for more. Oh my goodness, YouTube is on fire now with questions. So let's see what you guys are asking. Faber? Okay. It says, hey Jay, I discovered your videos recently and really enjoyed them. Thank you. If I bring on a contractor as a partner on a flip, any suggestions on how to structure the deal? Yeah, don't do that. Because they're there to perform a service, and I would not, and I'm going to say it again, I would not bring a contractor to the deal to perform a service, especially if you're going to keep that property. I know you said on the flip, but especially if you're going to keep that property. I'm telling you not to do that. I'll say it again so that I'm clear. Don't do that. You need to keep the service provider completely separate. And I'll say it again, keep the service provider completely separate. Now, if that service provider is the guy who wants to contribute some capital and be an investor, okay, cool. But you know what? He's still not doing the work on the deal. You can play one of two positions. You can either be the contractor or you can be the investor. You are not going to be both. And more importantly for you, I don't know if I'm saying your name, by the way, correctly. Faber. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard. I can't hear it, More importantly for you, you're likely doing that because you think it's a shortcut. And it's not. So don't do it. Even if it works this time, even if someone said, yeah, I did that, ask them why they don't do it anymore. Because there's a reason. And what I'm telling you is don't do that. So hopefully that makes sense. And go from there. Angel says, I'm trying to get into apartments, multi-units, but I do not know where to start. Do you know about Dave Lindahl and what do you think about his program? Got it. I think doing something is better than doing nothing, my friend. And yes, kind of hard not to know about Dave Lindahl. But being an apartment guy myself, if you want, you can start your apartment journey right there. Just go to cashflowdiary.com/checklist. That's going to give you some of my best ideas on how to improve apartment cash flow. And obviously we have courses and materials about that. If that's something that you're interested in, you'll be able to move forward. My point is, instead of sitting to all of you, isn't so much about, are you going to make the wrong move by studying with somebody? You make the wrong move by not doing anything. Even if it turns out that the person that you were quote unquote studying with is 100% backwards, at least you moved forward while everyone else stayed still. And many of us, we've lost an appreciation for the value of experience. Meaning, an experience comes from, hey, I tried this, it didn't work, and now I have experience. And we go, oh, that's not good. I don't want any of that. I'm like, why not? Do you not realize that as an operator, business operator of any kind, as an entrepreneur, the very thing you're offering to the marketplace is your experience. The more of it you have, the more valuable you are to the marketplace, even if all you did was do things backwards, because you learned stuff and you'll never do it that way again. So don't shortcut yourself the experience. But hopefully that helps, Angel. And yeah, I hopefully that helps. All right, so let's go back, look at Facebook, see what you guys got. Jason finally got in. Excellent. I'm glad you're here, Jason. I'm glad things are working for you. Oh my goodness. Periscope. Let me see what you guys. Xavier's here. Excellent. Conflict of interest. Yes, you're talking about the contractor being a part of the deal, Xavier. Conflict of interest. Yes. Anyway, very long story short, don't do it. It's not a shortcut. Felicia says, so many vacant business buildings here. I keep thinking about your lumber company lease and contract. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Felicia. By the way, one, where's here? Because remember, when you use words like here, I'm not where you are, so I have no clue where that is. And what do you mean my lumber company lease and contract? Lease and contract. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to there. Alden says it'll be easier next time, the replays of these, so you can watch and see the answer. Got your question. Got it. You're helping another member. That's awesome. I'm not saying where, but when you first started. Okay, got it. You gain nothing by keeping the location a secret, by the way. That just means it makes it harder for me to help you, because if I have insights about that location, I can't give them to you. But Xavier says, subscribe to your show on the Apple Podcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you haven't gone over to the podcast before, you can go to cashflowdiarypodcast.com. New episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. We do our best to keep that fresh and going. It's been going also for a few years. You're constantly spewing wisdom. Thanks. Thank you for your kind words. That's another way of saying I've made a lot of mistakes, and I just choose to share them with you. In fact, I don't know how many of you saw the live stream I did, was it last week, where all I did was tell you about mistakes. Well, there's another one of those coming, so I'm going to tell you more about more mistakes. But more mistakes in what to do with some of the heated conversations that I've had to have, or when people don't like you anymore and they're not your friend, and they start talking about attorneys and suing you and blah, 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 and what that feels like. So I can coach you through that too, because everything isn't going to go the way that you want it. And it's just not. And it's just not. And whether you like it or not, as the operator, regardless, most people will see it as your fault, even if it's not, even when it's not, because that's the problem. That's the hardest ones, is when it's not your fault, but it's your fault. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So if you got questions about those, make sure that you're following on Periscope. And for those of you on Facebook, you definitely want to do that as well. We're testing this YouTube thing. Hopefully it looks like it's going well right now. Everything is working. Nobody's computer has crashed. At least mine hasn't. So it takes a lot more computing resources to do what we're doing right now. And I'm just like, wow, it's actually working. So it's pretty exciting. So just keep that in mind. Let me see. No more questions. Facebook, what's going on? You got no more questions? Yep, I'm back on YouTube. And let me see. How would you structure your LLC for starting your real estate business? Larry, awesome. Thanks for the question. Here's the deal, Larry. I let attorneys do what they're good at. You don't structure an LLC until you need to. So it's not like I'm not going to tell anybody to go build an LLC today before they have a deal in place, because deal structure is a result of proper prescription. Meaning, in the same way that you go to the doctor, you don't just walk into the doctor and say, hey, doc, what I'd like is some penicillin. And they don't just turn around and hand you some penicillin. That's just not how it works. Okay. And if it does, you probably need a new doctor. That's all right. What it comes down to is that before the doctor can give you the prescription, they have to diagnose. So LLC structure is a result of the diagnosis that you have performed, or you and your attorney, or you and your CFO have performed on the deal that you are about to execute. Until you have that, I don't know. No one can tell you. And everything's a guess. Are there some common things? Sure. But you're not going to structure, or rather shouldn't structure, your own deals, write your own LLCs. I never said that to anybody. So please don't. Let attorneys do what they do, which is write LLCs. You're not saving money by doing it yourself. Okay? You're not. Just trust me on this one. Oh wow, did you have so Felicia on Periscope, did you have a refurb of a building that turned into a lumber or auto lease? Not that I remember. No, not that I remember, Felicia. Are you still making mistakes even though you're seasoned? That's another way of saying, am I alive? I don't make the same mistakes, Danielle. I mean, that's like, it's of course, you're going to make mistakes. You don't make the same ones. You just make new ones, sometimes bigger ones or just different ones. Ask any parent. I've got 4 children. They are currently aged 20, 9, 7, and 6. And you know what? They are the oldest they have ever been. And tomorrow they're going to be a day older. And I've never been a parent of children that are one day older than they are today. So yeah, I'm always in this new state. All of us are, right? You've never been as old as you are before. Guess what? You're likely to make a mistake. You know why? Because you're human. However, do you learn to recognize them faster? Do you learn to put them safeguards? Do you learn to have other measures and methods in place? Of course. You never are mistake free, which is why it's completely crazy. Any one of you who are out there trying to learn everything you can before you get started, just start. Mark Lynn over on Facebook, would you give that same advice LLCs for setting up an S Corp for short-term rentals? Got it. Mark Lynn, and I would never, in general regarding deal structuring, yes, the deal structuring applies regardless. However, an LLC and an S Corp are 2 completely different things, and I don't try to mix the 2. Again, my S Corp performs one function, an LLC performs a completely different function. And if you're talking about the S Corp that's actually operating your short-term rental, that's public facing, that's one thing, okay? And if you're talking about the LLC where you're bringing in the capital or doing something of that nature, that's a completely different thing. Those are 2 completely, 1 and 1. Make sure I did that right. Those are 2 completely different things. So don't try to conflate the 2 so that you can, again, you're not being slick, you're not being savvy, you're not being quick, you're not doing anything but making it more complicated. Let the S Corp do what the S Corp does, which is operations. Let the LLC do what the LLC does, which is hold assets. And again, I'm not an attorney, but that's what they tell me. That's just the reality of the business. Yes, the reality of the business is yes, you will make mistakes. You will get sued at some point. You will have to sue. By the way, an eviction is you filing a suit, whether you think of it that way or not. It is. This is unfortunately, especially if you're in the U.S., this is part of the business model. I'm not saying it's fun. I'm not saying I've enjoyed any of it ever. I'm not even saying they were right and I was wrong. I'm not even saying any of that. What I'm saying is it's part of the business and you have to learn to deal with it. And it stinks, but it's there. Felicia, miss you much. Xavier misses you, Felicia. So that way you guys know. Jay, long story short, first property, GC has changed plumbers 3. Oh, general contractor has changed plumbers 3 times now. What? And the water leaks. Wow. Okay, so you've been through 3 different plumbers and the water still leaks. How do you, oh man. Michelle, what am I thinking for you? I don't think your GC knows how to find a good plumber. That's what I'm thinking. If the GC has changed plumbers 3 times now, clearly your general contractor is having an issue because he can't verify their work. He doesn't know plumbing at all. And he probably shouldn't be a GC. Or he's hiring too cheap of a plumber, is something to think about. So that hopefully, yeah, just it's just something to think about, right? As you go forward. How do you verify a good attorney and their fees? Referrals and their fees. There are certain service providers that shopping for the lowest bidder, you get what you pay for. So always ask the question, Adolfo, compared to what? And just be prepared to be on the phone. You're not going to find your quote-unquote good attorney first shot out. I've worked with a number of attorneys in a number of different states. And every time, whether it be for us having to file an eviction or doing contract work or whatever, we always have to interview multiple people. It's kind of like your spouse, right? You don't exactly marry the first girl that comes along, or well, maybe you do. I don't know. The point is, it's just the way it's going to be. What should I do now? Oh, I already said that, Michelle. Yes. Oh, okay, good. All right, excellent. So back on YouTube, I see some more good advice. I have a tendency to measure 100 times before I cut. I'm fine with you measuring 100 times, Roberto. I just want you to cut. And do you really need to measure 100? That's really what I want to ask you. If you want to measure 100 times the first time, then cut, fine. But the second time, it better be 99. Then you better cut. Do you get where I'm going with that? Then the after that, it needs to be 98. Then it needs to be 97. Then it means 96. But so long as you cut, what I can't stand is people never cutting. It's like, dude, write the offer. Okay, go write the offer. Roberto is saying, do you buy the property first in your name, then establish an LLC? I plan on purchasing a small multi-unit property and live in one unit. Got it. You don't have to do it that way, but Roberto, that's completely fine. That's really, especially if you're going to do owner occupied, what you're talking about there is an advanced lending strategy, because I'm assuming you're not paying 100% cash. If you are, then it's your choice. But if you're not, that's probably the way the lender is going to want you to do it. So that's really what it comes down to there. You don't have to, but it's going to really depend on what the lender says based upon what you're trying to do. All right. Let me see. Markland says, yes, I know. That's why I'm asking. I know they're different, and I know you handle operations under S Corps. I asked because we would be signing the lease under the S Corp, and I assumed I would have that in place before signing. Makes sense. Got it. Yes. Yeah. It's either in place before signing or concurrently. It doesn't it's up to you, but yes, that is correct. The S Corp does need to be there, for the signing of the leases inside the short-term rentals. Markline, I don't know if you're just reminding me to remind everybody, if you're not on the list for the coming soon for the training that we're about to do for short-term rentals, you probably want to get there. Just go to cashflowdiary.com/coming soon. Again, that's cashflowdiary.com/coming soon. All right. Let's see what else. I saw something else. That's honest. That Honest Abe quote, or was that George Washington? I have no clue what that was. Firing the general contractor and looking for another is not in the budget. Any advice? Then prepared to lose the rest of the money on the deal. Period. That's really what it is. Or gotta cut your losses, sell the building with leaky pipes and take what you can. That's what it's going to come down to. And if you don't want to do that, then fire the general contractor, find the budget, period. I don't know how else to help you, Michelle, but that's just where it is. That's just where it is. Markland, this new marketing guy is pretty good. The ads just pop up as you speak. Pretty slick. Oh, got it. You're talking about, got it. I got it. You're talking about what's on the screen. Got it. Thank you. Yes. And Dave is pretty good. Dave is pretty awesome. So, give him some love, some reactions over there on Facebook, because Dave is pretty good. I think he's watching today. I'm not really sure. So Dave, they love you, man. They love you already. You're getting credit. Angel, Mr. Massey. Okay, Angel, you can just call me Jay, but thank you. Now that you are successful, is this the way you are paying it forward, by helping people? Thanks for your help. Do you or will you go in a deal or sponsor a person like me with no experience? Got it. It's funny that you mentioned this, because this came up today when I was recording one of the podcast episodes. Many of you know, or if you don't know, we have a podcast in iTunes, and you can go download that. But this came up today when he and I were talking, and I intentionally do not partner with people on the deals. You can be an investor, but we're intentionally not partnering, because I want you to learn it. All right. That's really what it comes down to. I want you to learn it. That's what I care about. However, are you saying, is this a way that I'm quote unquote paying it forward? Yeah, this is one of the many free things this really isn't free. It's usually for members only. It's free to you guys today. So congratulations for those of you on Periscope and YouTube. You're here. You get to get some insight of what's really going down. But this is part of what I do. Yes. Why? Because a few years ago, I was actually bored. lack of a better way of putting it. I was actually bored. I had about, I think it was 117 houses at the time, and I didn't really have anything to do during the day. And all I did was sit around. I spent money, played with photography equipment, and flew remote controlled helicopters. I had drones before drones were cool and cheap, meaning I spent a lot of money on drones. But anyway, that's not the point. My point is, as I was talking to some people who were in a very similar situation, I asked them, what do I do now? And one person in particular said, hey, what you should do is just start doing deals and giving the money to other causes and other things. And I was like, okay, that sounds like cool. And the idea came to me that, if I took some time and helped more people, that would be really, really great. But specifically what I thought Cashflow Diary was originally going to be was a way for me to document my brain and experiences so that my kids could follow. And that's what I thought it was going to be. And now it was just going to be, our own little journal thing that we had over here. And then a friend said, hey, I bet you adults want to know this too. And here we are. So many of the now students and customers, etc., you guys were the guinea pigs to make sure that I documented everything my kids needed to know should something happen to me. And as I saw more people becoming successful, getting out of their jobs, like Sep, I forgot how old were you, Sep, when you left? I don't remember. It was like 30 something. I just don't remember how old it was. And when I saw that happening, I was like, okay, I did it. I documented this process well enough that someone could leave their job and go off on their own. Job done. But then new strategies came up and new things happened. The market changes, and I learned I like it. I learned I like helping people change. So now you're kind of stuck with me, whether you like it or not. So, and that's where the whole short-term rental thing is coming from, is like one of you guys brought short-term rentals to my attention. And I'm like, well, dude, we got to do that because the numbers make sense. The strategy makes sense for so many, and you can start with so little relative to some of the other stuff we've taught. Not that they're bad, they're great. And in fact, those of you who have been through the other stuff, it all works together. And that's why I get so freaking excited, because it all just works together and gives you such a great foundation to make a real business and a real shot at leaving your job behind and finally doing something that matters to you. So totally went on a soapbox right there, didn't I? So Angel, thanks for the question. And for those of you on YouTube, thanks for your participation. Let me see what else we've got. Carol says she's zipping to a meeting. I know what kind of meeting that is, Carol. Good stuff. She recently got 5 houses under contract. Good job, by the way. Sep says he was 31 when he was able to leave his job. So that means every one of you who are over 31, never mind, I'm just messing with you now. My point is, Sep says he was 31. Okay. And Dave is indeed here. So yes, he's here to hear all the good things that you guys have been saying about him. And Felicia, when you first started, did you have a unit, home, or biz facility remodeled for a well-known U.S. company? When I first started, did you have it? No. For a long-term lease? No. I did not, Felicia. You might have me confused with some other J Massey? I don't know. Thank you for sharing. You are quite welcome. When I first started, my very first deal, Felicia, was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. In fact, if you saw the mistakes video that I did, not that a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house is a mistake, but that was the very first one. It was using a strategy known as subject to is what I did. And you can learn all about that because I talk about it all the time. Anyway, with that being said, we are nearing the time that it's your last opportunity to actually share for an entry. So if you're on Periscope, feel free to hit that share button, invite the followers, share on Facebook and Twitter as well, so that you can have a shot at winning the iPad Pro. Unless, of course, you really, really hate Apple that much and you just would rather have some Android device, which we are never going to give away. then don't share. Or if you think that your friends and family members could benefit just from the information that you've heard and they need to know about us, then please do share as well. So please do share as well. Larry on Facebook is asking short-term rentals. Ooh, Larry, I got lots to say about that. Short-term rentals. You know what, Larry, go over on Periscope. What I will do is that I will do a Periscope on what is a short-term rental, because Larry is literally asking short-term rentals with 2 question marks. That's his question. He's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, that means I need to tell him. So we'll totally do that. If you haven't found us on Periscope, just go over to cashflowdiary.tv, download the app on your phone, and make sure that you follow so that you can be notified when we go live. But Larry, we're out of time for the Q&A today. We only do this for about an hour, and then we'll go from there. They're sharing that iPad already has my name engraved on it. Well, we'll find out. No, I like Androids. Danielle, you can like Androids. Just I'm never given one away, so hopefully that's okay. Yes, you want to walk the dogs? Is that what's going on? If you want to walk the dogs, come say hi to the people. This is the 9-year-old right here. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
There you go. So they can see you. They could. What? Stop. She's got new puppies and they finally got their shots. So she's ready to go walk the puppies, which means I got to go. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Feel free to always catch our replays at cashflowdiary.tv. Again, don't forget about the Share the Wealth giveaway that we have going on. And then here's the podcast, cashflowdiarypodcast.com. New episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. It's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.